My name is Ethan. I never thought I would become the kind of man who memorized silence instead of words. But that's exactly how this story began. It started the night my wife stood in front of me, wearing the same perfume she claimed she had stopped using months ago. She smiled, walked closer, wrapped her arms around my neck. Then, almost playfully, she whispered, "Why don't you want me anymore?" For a second, I simply looked into her eyes. The same eyes that had learned to lie without blinking. I smiled back, not because I forgave her, because I already knew. I know everything. The color drained from her face. She didn't ask what I meant. She didn't deny anything. Her silence answered every question I had spent months asking myself. And in that moment, I realized I had stopped loving her long before she noticed. I had stopped touching her. 3 months earlier, I believed I had the perfect marriage. Or maybe I believed the performance. Late meetings. Girls' weekends. Phone always face down. Smiles that never reached her eyes. None of those things proved betrayal. But together, they formed a language I was finally learning to read. The first crack appeared when she accidentally left her smartwatch at home. Notifications kept lighting up. One name appeared over and over. No heart emoji. No romantic words. Just one sentence. Same place tomorrow. She grabbed the watch before I could ask anything. Too quickly. Too nervously. She laughed it off. I laughed too. That was the day I stopped asking questions. Instead, I started collecting answers. I never hired a private investigator. I never screamed. Never searched her phone while she slept. People destroy evidence when they know they're being watched. So I watched without being seen. I noticed she always filled her car on Thursday evenings. Yet every receipt showed less than 20 miles driven. She deleted browser history every Friday morning. She suddenly cared about expensive dresses she never wore around me. One afternoon, I told her I had an overnight business trip. Instead, I rented a room across the street from the cafe where she said she would meet an old friend. She never met a woman. She walked straight into the arms of another man. No kiss, at first. Just comfort. The kind that belongs to two people who have forgotten they're supposed to hide. I didn't take photos. I didn't need proof for the world. I only needed certainty for myself. Still, one question remained. Was this recent, or had my entire marriage been built on lies? So I quietly requested our financial records. Hidden credit card payments. Luxury hotel bookings. Weekend cabins. Everything was there. Months. Maybe years. Every transaction told a story she never intended me to read. The final piece arrived inside a plain envelope. A legal investigator I had hired weeks earlier had traced everything. Phone records, hotel check-ins, security footage, shared accounts, even conversations recovered from cloud backups. There was no room left for doubt. She hadn't simply cheated. She had planned an entirely different future with him while asking me to finance it. She believed I knew nothing. That evening she cooked my favorite dinner, laughed louder than usual, asked if we could take a vacation together. Then came the question, "Why don't you want me anymore?" I smiled. "I know everything." Her fork slipped from her hand. The room became painfully quiet. What? What do you know? I placed the envelope on the table. Didn't open it. Didn't need to. You already know what's inside. She stared at it as though it were alive, for the first time. She looked afraid. Not of losing me. Of losing control. She cried. Denied. Confessed. Changed the story 5 different times within 10 minutes. It didn't mean anything. I was confused. I was going to tell you. Every sentence arrived too late. I listened without interrupting. When she finally ran out of excuses, I slid one more document toward her. Property records. Weeks earlier, I had legally transferred every personal asset I owned into a protected family trust managed by my older sister. Everything had been done before she realized I knew. The house. investments, savings. She wasn't looking at divorce papers. She was looking at the death of every plan she had secretly built. "You trapped me," she whispered. I shook my head. "No. You trapped yourself." That hurt her more than any insult ever could. The divorce was quiet. No shouting. No revenge speeches. Just signatures. Empty rooms. And a silence that finally belonged to me instead of her lies. People still ask whether I miss her. I tell them I missed the man who believed every promise she made. He died long before the marriage ended. Sometimes I remember the look on her face after I said those 4 words. "I know everything." Not because it brought me happiness. Because it reminded me that truth doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes, it simply smiles and watches the liar collapse under the weight of their own secrets.